Welcome to the Battle Plan Marketing Podcast for Contractors. Get actionable advice and tactics on how to grow your home service company. Plus interviews with industry experts dropping value bombs in marketing, sales, and operations. And now, let's power up your home service biz with your host, Mark Ambrose of Battle Plan Marketing.
All right. Hello, home service pros. Welcome to the Battle Plan Marketing Podcast, episode number 102. Today, we're going to talk about increasing sales from the leads you're already generating each month. In episode number 100, we talked about how so many companies want more leads, but are not getting the most out of the leads they're already bringing in, right? And quality leads for most service companies can be very expensive to generate. So making sure you're getting the most sales out of them as possible should be at the top of your organization's goals, right? So most service companies unfortunately fail at this and are wasting a ton of money in advertising, plus losing a ton of sales from the leads they're already bringing in. So let's take a look at improving your sales process and growing more business from the leads you already have. And we're not talking about clever closing techniques or being a pushy sales asshole or any of that crap, right? So those kinds of sales connections won't help your business. It won't grow your sales, your referrals, or your reputation. In fact, do quite the opposite. So no, instead, we're talking about using systems, right? In this case, communication systems. And more specifically, we're talking about a sales pipeline. Right? From initial contact to follow-ups, booked appointment calendars, automated reminders, lost lead follow-ups, appointment no-shows, and more. Right? Most companies wasting a ton of money on generating leads because they don't have a detailed and mapped out sales pipeline and follow-up system in place to get the most out of it. So let's take a look at the lead and sales process where your company might be able to make minor improvements that directly impact your sales and your prospects' opinion of you. So number one is the first connection is an incoming lead, right? So where did the lead come from? Are you measuring that? We've talked about using call and form tracking so you know where the leads are coming from. So are you using that? Call tracking, form tracking. This helps you know which ads are working, which ones to stop wasting money on. If you're not using call or form tracking, then just simply ask each and every prospect where they heard of you and what made them contact you, right? And then make that notation, right? That's okay too. Let's look at incoming lead channels, right? Who answers the phone, right? So you, your office, call service maybe. It's always best, of course, if a real human answers. That prospect called because they want to speak with a human. Otherwise, they would have used a different form of communication, right? So the phone call is looking for communication, human-to-human communication. If the call was missed and went to voicemail, is there an auto-reply, text, voicemail, or email in place to let the prospect know that you received their message and you'll be in contact as soon as possible? That auto-reply message should be immediate or near instant. Doesn't want to seem like a robot. A quarter of a minute later, right? A response time of more than 5 minutes and you've lost 80% of the prospects to another company, according to Vendasta, which we touched on in episode number 100, right? So just 5 minutes and you've lost 80% of the prospects. They've dialed the next person, next company in line. On the flip side, if you will increase your lead conversion rate by almost 400% if you respond within 1 minute, according to data from Velocity. So those are opposing figures there. Wait too long, 5 minutes, you lost 80%. Respond quickly, you got a 400% increase in booking rate, right? So as you can see, this is probably the single most important part of converting your leads into booked appointments, is how they communicate, how they reach out and touch, make contact with you, right? So lead generation is losing a ton of money when they call and there's no one to answer the phone or that gets back to them within seconds, right? So if you don't have office staff to do it, then consider hiring a customer service call center, right? We interviewed 2 owners of a call center for plumbers and HVAC companies back in episode number 30. They're called Try EverPro out of San Diego. Check out that conversation where they gave some golden nuggets on how to deal with customer service as a small home services company. Okay, so again, leads are coming in. They're coming in by phone. So how are you dealing with that, right? That's number one. Are they coming in by text? Do you offer that? Right? A lot of people prefer to text message businesses today, especially if they're just looking to set an appointment, right? So are you offering a text option on your website? Is there someone in your office who can receive and quickly reply to those text messages? Or do you have an automated acknowledgement and instant reply text setup already in place, right? So they're coming in by phone, they're coming in by text, they want to come in by text. Are you able to offer it? And if you are you offering it, right? Next up is web chat, right? So people get to a site, usually lower right corner, little icon down there, click on it, you can type in. Some are bots that are just FAQs, but what we're talking about is live person web chat, right? So those tools are out there. According to data out there, about 35% of website visitors are seeking to have a conversation in that web chat with a live person on your staff, right? So some of those web chat communication systems allow for it to come across to you as a text and then reply as a text. So that's really handy. Once again, only use this if someone in your staff, if not you, can read and reply to these messages within 1 minute, going back to our reply stats, right? So people call, they text, they'd like to use web chat. Can you offer it? Are you offering it? Is there somebody there in your organization to be able to deal with it and answer instantly, right? So don't open up a communication channel if your staff cannot communicate through that channel quickly, within less than 1 minute. That should be the yardstick. Okay, the other communication method is website forms or online ad lead forms. So if you're running Google Ads to a landing page or your website, hopefully, again, there's a call tracking number there. You can identify what ad they came from, but also the form, right? So there's hopefully a lead form on that page, customized just for that service. And it would have its own custom thank you page so you could measure the conversion. But where are those forms coming? They're usually coming by email. So where are those forms coming to in your organization? And what's in place to be able to reply within 1 minute? Let's use that 1 minute as our goal. So are you able to do that? And if not, how can you improve upon it? I think also in episode number 100, we said one of the data sources said something like the average response time to a lead was like 37 hours. So again, after 5 minutes, you lose 80%. After 37 hours, I don't know how many's left. Hardly anybody, right? So that's unacceptable. So you can't have a lead come in for your website by email, and then you don't look at it until the end of the day or something like that. So where do the website forms come to? And if you're running Facebook lead form ads or Google lead forms and search ads, same problem, right? So where are they coming to? How can they be responded to within 1 minute? And making sure you even see them, right? So those are the 4 communication channels that prospects can use to contact your company. It's the 4 that they want to, right? In the old days, it was just a phone, maybe mail, snail mail. Today, you got phone, text, web chat, website forms, lead forms. Now, the more of these channels you offer, the greater your potential for lead generation from the same dollars you're already spending, right? So if you're sending people to your website and you offer all 4 of those forms of communication, well, then you're appealing to everybody who visits your site. You're not going to lose anybody because you don't have the communication channel that they prefer. Now, if you get rid of web chat, you've lost a percentage of people. If you get rid of SMS text, you've lost a percentage of people. Not everybody who prefers those will leave you because you don't have them, but a percentage of them will. So the math is not on your side if you're excluding some of those communication channels. Conversely, the math is on your side if you are. And you're also you're impressing the prospect that you have all of these choices with which they can contact you, right? Okay, so again, the quicker you respond, the higher your lead conversion into a booked appointment grows, right? So now we haven't even gotten into your sales pipeline yet, and you can already see there's enormous potential for improvement to probably every company's lead conversion and booking rates if you don't already have all of these communication channels dialed in, right? So step number one, take a step back, look at them: phone, text, web chat, lead forms. Are you offering them all now? Are they all being responded to within 1 minute? If not, what can you do about it, if anything? Doesn't mean you have to. If you can't respond to web chat, then don't make it part of your communication channels, right? So if anything's there that cannot be done, just impossible to arrange, given your setup, well, then don't make the leap, because nothing worse than offering a communication channel where there is no communication. They get no reply. Okay? So the ideal goal should be a live person answers the phone, SMS text, web chat text, and emails, and lead forms within 1 minute. How can we get there? Okay, now let's move on to your sales pipeline. This is usually found, of course, you can do pen and paper too here, but usually a CRM, customer relationship management software, or sales pipeline software, they have those independently, will greatly help you deploy a solid follow-up system that increases your leads conversion into booked appointments and sales, right? Because continued follow-up is just as important as immediate communication. Depending on the data sources you read, between 2 and 5% of the people who contact your company are ready to buy now. Everybody else is not. 2 to 5% of the calls. Now, my gut tells me that it's higher for the skilled trades, but I found no data to support it. Now, I'm sure it is on your own internal data. Service companies, people are calling, they have a problem. My plumbing's leaking. I need a plumber out here. I don't have time to investigate it and learn all about it, right? But the general gist is still there. More people than not who call you are looking for information and to learn a little bit about your company, get a feel for it, more so than they are looking to book an appointment immediately, right? And those same statistics show around 55% of prospects are not ready. They're just beginning their buyer's journey. So if it's something like a tankless water heater or a repipe job or solar energy system, that's something they're going to look at digesting more information about it. Leaky pipe, water heater not working, things like this, they're going to call and they want service immediately. The bigger ticket stuff, the things that they're thinking about, they're not ready. Right? So again, statistics show about 55% of the callers are just beginning their buyer's journey. They want more information and get a feel for your company. 40% roughly are almost ready to do business, but they too want a little more information and they want to get a feel for the company that they're considering. Right? So again, depending on the data source, 90 to 95% of the prospects are not ready to pull the trigger and book an appointment. Now, let's say for service companies, it's half of that. Say 50% are emergency or urgent need service, and they're booking an appointment. The other 50% is not. You would be way ahead of most companies at that ratio, but I'll give you that, right? So let's say half of these people are just starting out, and they're just seeking info. What do you do for them? They've called, they've texted, they've emailed, and they've expressed their desire to learn more about blank. So now, do you have a web page, a video, PDF document, or other information at the ready for every one of your key services where information may be requested. Maybe you have a buyer's guide to what they're interested in. Essentially, they're looking for content about something that you sell that interests them. So are you prepared to send it to them immediately? Your customer service team should have links to informational content for each one of your services at the ready for anyone who requests it or who simply doesn't book an appointment about that service, but express an interest in that topic. Okay? So have information at the ready, and then have that information not only do a good job of informing, but at the end of it, having a call to action. So again, asking for the appointment. Contact us or some special offer or something at the end of it as well. But a call to action at the end. Get them to re-engage with your company, set an appointment, free estimate, etc. Things like that. Okay, now let's take a look at your sales team. Again, depending on the data source that you research, you'll find that nearly half of all salespeople give up trying to connect with a lead after just one try, which is crazy. Why are you in sales? Right? One try. Only 8 to 10% of salespeople follow up more than 5 times. Right? So only 10% or less of your sales team, if you have them, or yourself, are following up more than 5 times with a lead or prospect. Yet, over 80% of all sales happen after the 5th contact. So these two data points do not align, right? Most prospects are not ready to buy, and they need to be provided quality information about either the product, the service, or your company. And they need to be contacted several times before they're ready to buy. Yet most salespeople, companies, stop contacting them if they don't book an appointment on the first contact. See how those two things don't line up? Now, the good news is this can all be fixed with software and a mapped out communication follow-up system, right? So if you find yourself in this position, then what you don't want to do, you don't need more leads. We get calls all the time. I need more leads. I want to run ads. What's your pipeline like? What's your process like right now? Do you really want to spend more money on leads when you're losing 80, 90% of them, not following up, wasting a ton of money, right? So instead, take a look at taking that money you were going to invest in new lead generation and instead invest in systems that will help you get the most out of each lead you're already bringing in, right? So you got to get the leads to convert to your calendar. So investigate CRM, again, customer relationship management software or sales pipeline software solutions that will enable automated follow-up campaigns for every one of your services, right? And the same holds true for appointment no-shows. So what do you do about those right now? How do you follow up on appointment no-shows? Do you have an automated follow-up system that reaches out to them to reschedule all missed appointments? That too can be built into a great follow-up CRM system. Now, there are some really good systems out there in the marketplace that work well for lots of our clients. We integrate with lots of them. We are in the process, like I said in episode number 100, realizing our clients need more booked appointments than they do need leads. They need better systems, many of them, than they do more lead generation, right? Get more business out of the leads you're already getting in, out of the ad spend you're already spending, right? So we're in the process of developing a CRM marketing solution system that's very simple, very easy to use for smaller service companies that don't have the time or money to invest in complex CRM systems that may have a longer learning curve, right? So we plan to release our lead gen CRM software by the end of August. We'll make announcements as we get closer to its release. But in the meantime, for larger companies out there, there are several other solutions that help specifically home service companies. So House Call Pro is one. We've had them on the show. We interviewed the Chief Operating Officer, Mr. Brooks Pettis, in episode number 67. Go back, listen to that. Superstar guy, superstar company, great product, right? Service Titan would be a step or two above that. Maybe the ultimate place to land for a larger service company. Super excellent CRM and marketing tool for, again, larger companies seeking more comprehensive solutions. Going to take some time and money to invest in it. A longer, very long learning curve. But when you're on the other side of it, you have a highly efficient company if you set it up well and did it well. So both of these solutions also have built-in price books, by the way, which we harp on a lot, is getting your pricing right? Now, our system will not deal with that. Super complex. But House Call Pro, so if you move up, House Call Pro, Service Titan, there's others out there that include built-in price books, which help you and your team make accurate pricing quotes while in the field, right? So if you're right now getting calls from your techs, hey, what should I charge for this? What should I charge for that? All of that can be solved with a good CRM that includes a price book. There's also, by the way, the new flat rate, I believe it's called, which is just a standalone price book that presents a good, better, best solution. In fact, it just popped in my head as I was talking about this. So I think I will go out and see if I can't get somebody from that company to come on the show, be interviewed, talk about, again, I think it's called the new flat rate. I know it integrates with Service Titan, some of these other softwares. So it's a little more of a sales presentation price book that allows you to give a good, better, best option wherever needed to the customer. So it's not feeling like a sales presentation. The customer gets to pick what good, better, best. Or if I remember Brooks Pettis, actually, from House Call Pro, good, better, best. He likes 4 options. But as long as you're giving options to the consumer, to your customer, and letting them make an informed decision instead of just giving them one option or even just 2 and feeling like they're being sold instead of letting them make an informed decision, right? So all of these software systems also include visual sales pipelines. So you can see, so let's say you have columns, right? I'm just going to make it up right now. Hot lead, lead qualified, lead booked, lead appointment completed, or no-show, something like that. There's your pipeline, and the prospect is moving from one column to the next. And there might be automated communications happening when they move from one to the next. For instance, if they went from appointment booked, but they didn't show, and it went into no-show, that would hopefully trigger a series of automated messaging to get them back onto the calendar with links, right, to your calendar. So you get a visual representation as well as data input. You get to see the percentage of prospects that made it to each of the next steps in the pipeline process, right? So to some degree or another, they'll also offer some automated follow-up systems that help you stay connected to prospects and convert more into booked appointments, right? Our new system will be focused mostly on lead messaging, sales funnels, instant replies through text, voicemail, email, and channeling all your leads into one inbox so no lead ever gets lost. That is another thing to consider right now. If you have text, web chat, phone, forms coming through email, where's all that going? Is somebody checking all that right now, right? It's a lot of different potential inboxes. So our software is going to bring it all into one spot, one app on your phone. You know where everything is. A lead comes in, it's coming to that app, right? Okay, so in the meantime, take a step back, look at your company, where are the communication lags and leaks, right? And how can you best fix them? This is the biggest deciding factor on how many of your leads become booked appointments, right? So first is getting that answer, that communication with them, answering the phone, the text, all of that within 1 minute. That should be your goal, right? And then from there, what auto messaging? So your booked appointments, is there auto messaging going out to them? Reminders, right? These software systems will do that for you. Send out a message. Your appointment is on their way. They'll be there in X amount of time. Maybe a picture of the service tech within that text going out to the client, right? So where are the communication lags and leaks in your system right now? That's the biggest thing. How do you reply to that customer, that client, that prospect within 1 minute, right? That's a big one. And then how do you follow up from there? What automated follow-up systems? Okay. So, and again, are you offering every communication channel possible? So we tend to get stuck in our way and think, everybody's going to call or email. But no, text, web chat, 2 big channels being used a lot today, more and more by younger generations. So if a lot of your service area is going younger and younger, then you must go with it, right? And web chat and text is their preferred way of communicating, right? As you get older, old fogies like me, us geezers like picking up the phone, talking to humans, right? So again, appealing to everybody out there, right? The world has changed. Just answering the phone is not good enough anymore. You got to try to meet your prospects where they are using the communication channels that they prefer and follow up, because most of your sales are going to come from follow-up, not that initial call, that initial text, that initial booked appointment, right? All right. I hope that helps some of you. Thanks for sharing your time and attention with us today. If you like what you heard, please rate, review, subscribe to our podcast. If you're on YouTube, hit the like button, help the algorithm like us. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, get notified of future episodes. Feel free to share this one on your social channels. Good luck out there and create a great day.
Thanks for listening to the Battle Plan Marketing Podcast. To power up your home service business, for show notes, visit battleplanmarketing/podcast. If you enjoyed our show, please share it on social. Until next time.